Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Cordray, kudos, I'm up here.
Got it. Okay.
Usually I'm way down
That's
there.
fine. I thought I saw you were there.
Kudos for your stamina, sir.
All right.
I want to switch subjects on you and ask about student loans.
Okay.
You have responsibility, as I understand it, for processing the consumer complaints with respect to the private sector portion of student loans. Do I have that correct?
I think we take all student loan complaints, yeah.
Whether they're private sector or the Federal Government ones?
You know, people don't often distinguish very easily in their minds, yeah.
So you actually receive and act upon complaints from consumers regarding their student loans, even if their student loans are government or government-guaranteed student loans?
I think we get a lot of complaints on all types of student loans.
I think I read correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, in your semi-annual report that about 3% of your total was associated with student loans. My math, back of the envelope math, says over 7,000. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many. It's definitely in the thousands, and
Yeah.
it's probably not above 20,000. So yeah, it sounds.
Are
about right.
there any trends there that you take note of that should be brought to our attention?
Yeah, we learn a lot from consumer complaints. I mean, it's something that we really pay close attention to because it's really the voice of your constituents telling us about their concerns in the marketplace or where they think they've been mistreated. A lot of what we hear about student loans has to do with people expressing a lot of regret. They didn't appreciate what they were getting into or what their rights were, and they don't know what their rights are or what they can do about dealing with struggling to repay. There's problems with student loan servicing, so that they're not getting the right information or the payments aren't being allocated properly, or sometimes they're being allocated not to the highest cost loan, but to something else, which isn't what a consumer would intend. So we hear a great deal from them, and that's informing our approach to this, which one of the things we realize is people just don't know enough about what their rights and opportunities are with student loans and repaying student loans and getting into the debt. That's led to our Paying for College tool. It's on our website. I encourage you to socialize it with all of your constituents. If somebody and some family for the first time in their life is thinking about how do I send my kid to college, how do I compare different offers from different schools, you know, what might be the best value, this will help people work through that process, which otherwise can be pretty intimidating for people first time around. So those are all things that we're working on.
And to the best of your recollection, are the overall number of complaints associated with student loans growing, decreasing, or staying about the same?
They're growing, I think, as people become more aware that that's an avenue over time.
All right. Changing subjects on you again, I noted with interest and appreciation that you acknowledged in your prepared testimony the valuable role that your Credit Union Advisory Committee and your Community Bank Advisory Committee has played. And as you know, last year, Congressman Pittenger and I introduced legislation which just yesterday we reintroduced to codify those business councils and to create one for other financial sector representatives, namely escrow, appraisal, title company. Obviously, you see benefit in this. You took the time to praise and laud it. What would you describe as those benefits as they might exist for the other business groups to help provide you with input?
Well, look, I can spend my whole life meeting with advisory councils, and we cover so many markets that I wouldn't want to have too many of them, but it was pretty clear to me that community banks and credit unions are pretty, not only pretty important, they were going to be largely outside of our view, the smaller ones, and they deal with a great deal of products. So there's a lot of input to give us. They deal with mortgages, they deal with student loans, they deal with auto loans, they deal with, you know, you name it, everything that depository institutions do. Now, whether we'd want to have too many more advisory councils, I mean, they're very time-consuming. But people come and meet with us. I spend a whole day with them. We spend time with them in between meetings, hearing from them and getting their thoughts. I'd not want to do too many of those. But at the same time, as long as I'm there, we're going to continue with the Community Bank Advisory Council and Credit Union Advisory Council because they have shown their worth, and I think they've been very valuable to us. And they've improved our decisions.
In my 8 seconds left, let me just say neither Mr. Pittenger nor I are giving up. We think listening is time-consuming, but of incredible value. And I might just add, as somebody that you full well know sits up here and often praises, compliments, expresses appreciation for the work of your agency, neither are Mr. Posey and I going to give up on the value and utility of advisory opinions or no action letters. And I just want to say for the record and publicly, I am disappointed in the way in which you characterize as a tool that you would use infrequently. We think there is considerable benefit here for the private sector and for the stakeholders to make the process work better, which I know as a former Attorney General, you full well know, if constructed appropriately, can be a positive tool available to everyone to make the whole system work better. My time has expired.
I don't could I have just 10 seconds?
Not if you're going to tell me you're not going to do it anymore.
No, we put out a proposal on that, and we've gotten comment back that it's too narrow, may not be sufficient. That's something we're thinking hard about. As I said, we used to do 100 a year when I was Ohio Attorney General. I don't know if we struck the right balance here. We're going to think more about it.
I appreciate that very much.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Colorado, Mr.